started.
Just to let you know, Jay,
Yep.
we can't be here for ages if that's okay, because I've got a lot to do.
Fine by me.
So, just letting you know.
Yep.
How's your 2 weeks been? A week and a half, whatever?
Interesting, I guess. I don't know. Fairly normal. Just playing as much well.
Tired?
I don't know. Yeah, tired.
Are you sure you're not tired?
No, I'm tired. I mean, I am,
Right.
but I don't feel it. I just.
I mean, I am. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
I got
Very
up earlier than I wanted to, I think, but I don't know. That might be it. I just realised I didn't even start without without the cameras off. I just started straight with the cameras on this time.
Oh right, okay, that's interesting.
Oh well, here we are.
No, far away.
We're in.
Now people know what we look like 30 seconds before the start of the show.
I guess so.
You ruined the surprise, Jay.
Yeah, just the
You've
one.
ruined the surprise.
You can forget one time.
Jay, I've just realised these Marvel cards are numbered.
Oh, that's handy. Could have kept a recollection of which ones you've done already.
Oh, they're not in order. They're not in number order.
All
What's
right.
the point in that?
Oh well.
Jay, what does Rocket steal from the Sovereign in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? A birth pod, an Omnicraft, Anulux batteries, or Harbulary batteries?
Oh god. I want to say the fourth one.
Positive?
Yeah.
Okay. It's CJ.
See, it was one of the batteries. It was one of the batteries.
Oh, that's a good question, no?
Yeah, I have a feeling it was because they were making the bomb, so he needed something to be able to power the detonator. I think that was the point.
Right, something like that.
From what I can remember, I need to watch that one again. I haven't seen the second one in ages.
Did you watch it since the cinema, or like since it came out, essentially?
Yeah, I cinema, and then I probably watched it once since then, but that was probably right after. So.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again.
So me and India watched it in the cinema, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if it was, as nearly as good as the first one.
But no, the first one's definitely the best one, but it is good. Still.
It is good. Well, when I rewatched it, I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. To be fair.
Has moments. Has its moments, definitely.
Yeah, the first one's pretty special.
Yondu's always been one of my favorite characters as well. So
they were going to eat you, boy.
Yeah. He plays that so well. He plays that so well.
He does.
So genius.
He does. All right, Jay. Should we crack on then, since we're on limited resources today in terms of time?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm pissed.
I did mention tiredness. What's up?
No, I had a bug with a game a little while ago, and it's pissed me off.
Well, nice segue into I suppose your topic for the week, Jay.
I just want to talk about my last 2 weeks, really.
Okay.
So I finished Atelier Ryza 2.
Good. How was that?
That was amazing. It's weird, like that kind of game was like reading a book for the first time again. Because I played the first one a while ago, and I was like, oh, I wish I could do that again. And then the second one came out, and I did that, and I was like, oh, I did it again. Like, it was the same experience, just over, just as good, basically, if not slightly better. So it was that kind of feeling I imagine you'd get if you'd read a book, like one of your favorite books for the first time, or seen a movie again for the first time. But again, instead it was a game. So that was really fun. I enjoyed that. That probably was about. Annoyingly, the game doesn't tell you how long you've played it, so I kind of had to just guess, and I think it's probably somewhere between 30 and 40 hours. That'll be.
Okay.
Somewhere
for
in that
JRPG.
Ballpark. Yeah. I mean, you can play it for longer. There's definitely there's some JRPGs where there's almost like an end game where you get to like a certain level, then to be able to finish everything, you kind of have to get to max level and make all your stats perfect or whatever. Gear. I mean, most Final Fantasies do that. So
I was gonna say 15 definitely did that. I think. Right?
I know 10 does and 13. Yeah, they all do it, to be honest.
Yeah. So did you finish all the side quests and stuff? Or?
Yeah, I finished. Well, actually, no. I've still got quite a few side quests to do, but you can't actually do them all until you've beaten the game anyway. I don't think they're almost timed to a degree. Like you have to do certain missions for the other side missions to unlock. So
Okay.
I'm probably not going to go back and do them, but it was fun to, as much as I did. So
Good. Any plans for a third in the
I don't know. I
pipeline?
kind of hope so because I think these are the two most successful games by that company.
Cool.
So you would think that if they're going to do anything, they're probably going to make a third one, if not make another type of game to do with those characters. So
Yeah.
we'll see on that one.
Cool.
So then, right after I finished that, I was like, well, what do I want to play? And I checked my Xbox, what I already had downloaded, and I was like, oh, the Medium. I'll just play that. And
Nice.
then went to go click on it, can't play it anymore. Apparently, it got taken off of Game Pass in February.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but because I had it still downloaded, I thought, well, it must still be on Game Pass. But nope, they took it off in February. So I
Oh.
missed out on that, unfortunately.
And that was
But
like, wasn't that a Series X launch exclusive or something as well? You know what I'm saying? Or was it like
yeah, I think it was.
at least in
It
the
was
first
on.
year or something?
It was on there for like a year, so I just didn't bother to play it that entire time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh well. So then I thought, well, okay, what else is there? I'll check the rest of the Game Pass because I've been thinking to myself, like, I haven't really been utilizing Game Pass as much as I'd like to. So I've been playing like quite a few Game Pass games, just sort of like test them out or whatever. And I will be downloading one. I'm like halfway through downloading one now that I still want to play, even though I already own the game on PS5 technically. So I'm like, I don't know. I'll go back and forth depending on what I want to do with that. But yeah, then I thought, okay, I'll look through the library and see what there is. And I got right to the end, and I thought, oh, the Yakuza game, like the new one that came out, is supposed to be an RPG. I'll download that and check it out.
I think they're all RPGs, to be fair, Jay.
Well, I mean, this one felt. I think this one's supposed to be more of like a
traditional
turn-based with like loot kind of essentially.
Which is true because I played the remake of the first one, Kiwami, and that's like real-time action. So yeah,
okay,
you're right.
there you go. Yeah, so I much prefer turn-based stuff. So I thought I'll try it out. Played it for probably about 6 to 8 hours now. Haven't played it very long. I will go back to it eventually. But it is very, very good and very, very Japanese. Like the humor and the style of it is just so like Japanese, and it's kind of a bit of a culture shock. Kind of, even though I know so much about that kind of stuff, like it's kind of like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff in here that I didn't think. Like sometimes you don't realize how far people go with like certain use of language, I guess. And I was like, oh, like the Japanese know that word, of course they do. Like there's just like certain things they said that I thought only the Western world said, but clearly Japan are involved.
Well, like swear words and things.
Yeah, like just certain like turns of phrase or swear words. I just thought, oh, there's no way they would use that, but clearly they know like that kind of stuff too, so it's fine.
Sure. To be fair, just to butt in quickly, Jay, on Kiwami again, like, so that was made on PS2 and then was remade or whatever, or like remastered. But even then, I think I remember telling you back in the day, like, it was so wacky. I think that's why people like.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Yakuza games are known for being like extremely out there and just very wacky, and like there's like dance numbers and like karaoke's always been a thing in it, and like just ridiculous outfits and like like it's almost a little bit like a Saints Row type thing. Although I imagine Saints Row probably took influence from Yakuza, to be honest. Yakuza's been around for a lot longer.
Totally.
But it is that kind of outlandish, wacky Japanese humor, but it's great. I love it. It's really, really good. And then you asked me about whether it's worth playing, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna ask you like how far you in and stuff, but I assume you're not ready to give your full thoughts yet, so you haven't finished it, sort of thing.
I mean, I can definitely like see where the game's going.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be worthwhile. I don't think it's it's not that. I mean, it's a long game, but it's not that long. I think it's about I don't know. It's probably like somewhere
50 hours,
30 to 50 maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay, nice. So anyway, yeah. So yeah,
it's just like a really doable type thing,
Yeah, rather than like a 200.
And surprisingly, the story is actually kind of amazing. Like it's kind of a smart story. So I think even just for that, I will say there's a lot of dialogue and quite a lot of cutscene stuff like you can just sort of like have to read, especially in the first like 5 hours. There's just like I'd say there's like half the time spent was just me reading.
Oh, because they've got
lot. Like I barely played
dialogue with just text boxes.
There's just so much dialogue. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So I reckon most of the game might just be that. But I think at some point you'll get into it and you'll be able to probably play it a bit more freely. I'm not exactly sure. I'm only on
So
chapter.
yeah, so I
like, 2
rang
or
you
3. So.
and was like, "Is it worth playing?" Because it is one of those. So I tried Kiwami. I gave up on it about 10 to 15 hours in, because I was like, I understand why people like this, but it's a bit old, and I definitely don't want to play all of these games through and like finish them, because like that's no way,
No, I mean, and I
no
said to
way.
you that this game was specifically designed for new players in mind, like people who don't want to have to
Right.
go back and play Yakuza 1 through 7, basically. Because I think there's
Yeah.
actually like 13 Yakuza games. There's like 7 mainline ones and then like 6 spin-offs or something. It's much like
Jeez.
COD. Like there's mainline ones and just loads of spin-off stuff. So, and I think they've been around since the early PS2 era, maybe even late PS1. I can't remember. So.
I think PS2.
Yeah, but if you want to play any Yakuza game, 100% go with this one because it's a great introduction into the series. So
Well,
I
to be fair, I've
recommend it.
only heard good things, and it was a launch title for Series X, right? So that means that I assume like tech and stuff, it runs well and it looks good and all that sort of
Yeah, I've had
bull
0
BS.
issues with it so far.
So like I have
Pretty
been looking at
amazing.
it like, but I'm glad you played it and you're like, yeah, Nick, you should probably
Yeah,
play it,
I say if you want to play a game, just get me to test it, and I'll be like, yeah, or no.
Interesting.
Most of the time.
In
I
that
mean,
case, Jay,
yeah, go
feel
on.
free to try out Prey, because I
Oh
need to
yeah,
know
I've already
whether.
played Prey. It's fine.
Okay, not amazing though. People keep saying how amazing
I
it
feel like
is.
if I started playing it properly, I'd probably love it, but I haven't played it properly yet.
Okay.
I still have it
Right.
downloaded, so I can play it eventually.
So how many hours are you into Yakuza then? Are you like
I think it's
halfway
like between
through,
6 and
or?
8, not even halfway. Like I'm very like only on chapter 2.
Okay.
Although like a lot happens in the first 5 to 8 hours, honestly. Like
Sure.
there's a lot of story. You have to kind of like, there's a lot of setup. Like yeah, no, it honestly kind of feels like a Pokemon game in that there's sort of like beats that you have to hit along the way.
Sure.
There's
So
like like gym leaders almost, but not really.
is it a complete? Do you know if it's a completely different storyline from the old games?
Oh
Then?
yeah, I mean basically you got the main character and it's revolved around him. So
And
there's
he's
no
not
other
the character
involvement
from
with
the old
previous stuff.
Yakuza games.
No, he's a completely new character. He's a young like 20-something-year-old.
Okay.
And also the game is set in the year 2000 at first.
Okay.
So the first like 4 hours of the game, you're in like the year 2000, and then something happens, and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds really similar to Kiwami, because I mean, I assume you don't. It's not really spoilers for a game that's that old.
Sure.
Yeah, you basically play a little bit at the start, and then you go to prison for like 10 years, and then you come out of prison.
I mean, you basically just nailed it.
Right.
I have a feeling this game might just be a reboot or like a remake of that, to be honest.
Well, maybe they were just like, we'll keep things familiar and do a similar,
Yeah.
But you're enjoying it anyway.
I am. Yeah, I will definitely go back and play it. It's just whether I've got my finger in many pies.
Oh gosh.
Got dipping my toes in many pools.
Oh no! Please don't use that now.
What?
I hate toes.
Really?
Yeah.
Good thing the camera isn't pointing the other way right now. Jesus.
Oh jeez.
What do you mean you hate toes? What?
Their feet are horrible.
That's a really weird thing to. Okay.
Feet are horrible.
Well, you're the opposite to many people.
Okay, right. So Jay, imagine you go around walking everywhere in your house on your hands, like the floor, and then you're using your hands to then put them on the sofa, or I don't know, grab your toothbrush with them. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, but most people tend to wear socks or shoes when they go about their lives.
Which is why socks and shoes are brilliant. Which is why we don't need flip-flops in the world, because they look awful.
Yeah, and they get your feet very
and
messy.
they're noisy, and they're
horrible. This is such a weird place to be.
And then
to be going right now.
And then so no flip-flops, no bare feet. Simple as. If you're hot and you're in bed, fair enough. All right, but if you're walking, put socks on. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if not, all that dirty shit.
I don't go outside without some sort of foot cover.
Also in-house though, is what I'm saying.
Really? No, I'm barefoot right now. I'll walk around barefoot.
No. Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh, that's weird.
Floors are dirty, even if your floor's clean.
But yeah, I wear slippers most of the time, so
fine.
we'll go with that.
Fine.
We'll go with that.
Fine. But the whole thing about like someone being barefoot and then like jumping on the sofa with their bare feet, I'm
No,
like,
I can understand
no,
that. I'm like that with my hands, to be
no.
honest. I can't touch anything of mine that I own unless my hands are clean. I have to wash them and then touch something that I own. I don't like having messy stuff, so yeah, I can agree with that.
And you got the smell thing too,
Yeah,
right?
smell thing too, and just
Yeah,
like the oily
sick,
thing
sick.
or whatever. Okay, so shall I move on to my
Okay.
next subject?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So what did I do after Yakuza? Yakuza happened, and then it got hot. There was a heat wave.
Dude, Jay,
What
it
happened
got
with
so
you?
hot.
So how hot
It
did
got
it get where
so
you
hot.
are? Because I have a feeling I think the Midlands actually got the worst.
38, 39?
Yeah, we didn't quite hit that. I think we hit 37, 38. So it was close enough,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got so hot that I didn't really want to like turn on my laptop or my console. So I was like, I'm just worried that they're gonna. I mean, they make my room. Even if my room was like 10 degrees, if I had my console on for an hour, the room would then be 16 degrees. Like it definitely heats up the room. That's what I'm saying. So I don't want to increase the heat, and also don't want to damage them from them being too hot. So I didn't play Yakuza for a couple of days, and I was like, well, what do I have? What do I own that isn't going to overheat? And I was like, well, I'll just play Pokemon
I have
for like
a
a couple of
fridge.
days, right? Yeah, I have a fridge.
Yeah, sure.
So I've just started like.
Does the Switch get hot? Sorry to interrupt. But
Yeah,
the
the Switch
get hot,
definitely has fans, and I mean it gets hot by just playing it in a cool room. So it's not like
Okay.
hot, but you can definitely tell a difference.
Okay.
It's sort of like it's much like the PS5, where like it whirs for a little bit, and then once it calms down, it's fine. So yeah, I was like, I'll just play Pokemon for a bit, and I'm still kind of playing them now. Like I've got 2 different playthroughs going at the minute, so I'm just sort of back and forth between the two.
Which ones?
Black and White and Sun and Moon, or just Moon
Cool.
of one and Black of the other.
Okay.
So I'm sort of dabbling in that a little bit, and then I'm also playing Power Wash Simulator. Finally, because it finally came
Interesting.
out.
On Game Pass, I
On
assume.
Game Pass, yeah. And I knew it was going to be big because people were talking about it for ages. And I think it is currently sitting at the number 4 most played Game Pass game of the last 2 weeks.
Right. Okay.
It's number 4. It's like
interesting.
basically in the top 4 of like games that are currently being played on Game Pass.
How have you found it?
It's brilliant, but I had one issue literally like an hour ago.
Okay.
So there's a little bar in the top left that tells you your percentage of how much you've done in a particular area of like cleaned up. I got to 97% and my game glitched out and reset the whole thing.
What? So like all the dirt just came back, or?
All came back.
Right. Okay.
And I don't even know if it's a known bug. It just happened. I know
What,
there's
for like the whole game or just that mission?
just for
if
that
you know what I
mission.
mean?
So
Okay.
I've got to now redo that whole mission, and I was probably already an hour and a half in.
What?
Yeah, it probably took me about an hour and a half to get that far, so I just
I
wasted.
didn't realize that they like each scenario was that big.
I mean, they get bigger, so it just depends.
Okay.
But yeah, that's gonna bug me now. So
Are you gonna? I mean, that for me, Jay. If that happened to me, I'm uninstalling that.
yeah,
shit.
no, I haven't uninstalled it, but it's definitely made me go, I'm probably not gonna touch that for a little while.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been fun, and
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of people have been playing that. There's actually something I want to recommend to you. So there's a game developer that I've been following, maybe I think on social media and TikTok for a long time. Of someone making this game called Townscaper. Have you seen this on Game Pass?
Don't think so.
I recommend
Is it
playing
on Game Pass?
It's on Game Pass currently, and I'm glad it's on there because I've been following this developer for like literally about a year and a half. And it's just like a random like sea level with like different shaped tiles that you can't really see. They're sort of invisible, but you can turn them on, and you can basically just build buildings in an area. Like it's very simple, but depending on
Okay.
how you place the building blocks, it sort of like changes the shape, and you can make like really cool like cities out of it. I guess it's basically like a city building game, but that's literally all it is. But it's one of those games where you can get 1000 G in about 10 minutes.
Oh.
So if you want 1000 G, Townscaper, and you'll have literally under 10 minutes, and you'll have 1000 G off it.
I appreciate the recommendation, Jay, but the times of playing games for G have long passed, I'm afraid.
I mean, if you want it, it's there. That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
And that wasn't even the main reason I downloaded it. I downloaded it because I was like, oh, fine, I can play the game I've been following from this dev for ages.
Yeah.
And then when I looked at the
happens.
achievements, it just happened. I was like, oh crap. I think Maka from Maka's Guys did like a little video explaining how
Nice.
to unlock everything. So
Nice.
So that was
So is the
fine.
game like good
Yeah,
or
it's great. You can definitely put quite a few hours. The music's pretty, chill and everything. So
nice?
very visually
That's cool.
appealing, very
Nice
auditory.
that the game's finally out.
Yeah, it's very small. It's only about 400 meg as well.
Nice, nice.
So I played that. What else was there? Oh yeah, I'm now downloading Watch Dogs 2
Okay.
because
Did you play one?
I've owned the game on PS4 since the game came out, pretty much. So what, like 2018?
Yeah,
Maybe
I think you might be right with
2017?
that one. 2018, maybe.
I've attempted
Yeah.
to start playing the game maybe 3 or 4 times and just cannot get into it.
It's because it's shit. But
Yeah,
go
it's
on.
not good. So I'm just downloading it just for the sake of having it, just in case I feel like playing it again.
Oh, so you're not downloading it to play it
I mean, I'm
necessarily.
downloading it to potentially play it if I feel like playing it.
Did you play the first one?
Yeah, the first one was probably one of my favorite games of that year.
Oh, Jay,
2015, March 2015 was a good day. Because I remember in March, I completed both Watch Dogs and Wolfenstein one one after the other. I remember exactly what I did.
I think I was speaking to you on Xbox
You
when
were.
you were
I remember
completing
doing it
Wolfenstein.
because
Yeah,
I was looking for actually no, was it 2015? No, it must have been 2014. It's March 2014 because I started working a couple of months after that, so it was March 2014. So there you go. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was there's a new game out called Stray. Do you remember that? We saw the
yeah.
trailer for it,
Well aware.
and it has
Yeah.
popped
The
off,
the
dude.
PlayStation exclusive, right? The PS Plus one. It's on
Yeah,
PS Plus. The new. Yeah.
it's become very popular. Like it's sort of it's got almost gone
Mm,
viral, I guess, is the good way of
mm,
putting it. And now
yeah.
that I've sort of seen more of the game, I'm like, oh, I actually kind of wouldn't mind playing this game. Not for the price that
Yeah.
it's currently at. Like if it was about 15 quid, I'd be like, yep, I'll play that.
Well,
20
it's
at a
on the new
push.
PS Plus thing, so you
Yeah,
could
there is
get that
that.
for a
So
month.
if I do want to
Yeah.
like play it and like a bunch of other games in a month, then I might
Yeah.
just grab it then. To be honest, I think that's probably what I'll do. More than likely. But yeah, when I first saw the trailer, I remember seeing it at E3. Was it not E3? I guess it was like a showcase or whatever.
I think it might have been the PS5 reveal event
Oh,
because
potentially, yeah.
that's a
Because I
PS5
remember
game. But anyway,
talking to you about
go
the
on.
game at the time, being like, oh, this is a bit of a throwaway. It's probably not going to be a bit of an indie crappy kind of thing. It's probably not going to be
Sure.
that good. Cut to now, and I'm like, the game actually looks pretty sick, and I wouldn't mind trying it out. So yeah, I just kind of
Totally.
wanted to bring that up to see if you had any opinion about it, whether you've noticed that it's kind of like blown up or what.
Yeah, totally. So I know that it was a little bit anticipated just because I think I was more like other people where like I quite like the look of it.
Mhm.
Obviously it came out. I'm intending to try it out on PS Plus whenever I try that, but to be honest, Jay, so I watched a few reviews on it and stuff, and I just don't know if it was quite good enough to justify my time playing it. Basically,
Oh,
like, I
okay.
guess I could try it out, but like it seemed like it's a good game.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure whether it's one of those where like it's becoming a bit of a meme, a bit of a trend on the internet,
Trendy,
and that
yeah,
can
very
fade
trendy.
very quickly.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what
this
I mean?
thing won't
Like,
be. Give it a week, it won't be talked about anymore.
right, exactly. And
But
how
I
many
still
times have
think
we
it's
seen this
fairly
happen?
worth at least playing. I don't think it's that long of a game. I think you can play through it in an hour and a half if you know what you're doing. I've
Well,
seen someone do an hour and a half long playthrough.
I thought it was more like 4 or 5 hours if you want to get
I
all the
mean,
other
yeah,
shit
if
as
you want to
well.
like maybe completionist and maybe like if you've never played the game before, it's probably closer to 4 or 5. But like I say, because of that, I don't even know what the price is on it. Do you know the price of what it is?
No idea, mate. Do you
I
want me
might
to have a
just
look?
check and then
You
because
can
I'm
check
not paying
probably
more
quicker
than
than me.
15 quid for this, I don't think. And like I say,
There's
I'd
no
probably
that
just get
game's
it
going
on
to
the
be at
PS Plus.
least 40
So
quid. At least 40 quid.
yeah, that'd be kind of ridiculous to be honest.
I mean, prices are getting a bit
Here it is.
ridiculous at
It's
the
right at
moment,
the
I would
top.
say.
Oh, it's 25 quid.
Oh,
Decent. But it is included
that's
in
a nice
PS Plus
surprise.
Extra, so that's actually pretty good. The one thing I did want to say too about it is the people who made it, Annapurna
Yeah.
Interactive, I think it's their most downloaded game.
I thought they were the publisher because they published quite a few bits, no?
Hang on. Annapurna
But that's cool also. That is cool also.
Interactive. I don't. Are they the publisher? They are the publisher. So I guess in that case then it's the publisher's most downloaded game.
That's cool.
And the ones they did recently was like Neon White, which actually kind of blew up too.
Yeah, the one on Switch.
Yeah, Outer
Yeah, yeah.
Wilds. They haven't really got that many like memorable games, but the
No, they got
Edith
a lot
Finch
of.
game they did.
Yeah, amazing game.
So I actually want to know who the
Dude, story on
developer
Edith
of this
Finch,
is.
yeah. So I go to my brother. I play it years after it came out, like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, I remember you
I'm
saying,
like,
yeah.
El, you should play that, right? And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. I get a text last year. Nick, I just finished What Remains of Edith Finch. Great game, you should play it. I'm like, El, you're a fucking idiot.
That's funny. That's really funny. So I think the Blue 12 studio who made Stray,
Yeah.
I think they've only just made Stray. I think that's it. This is their first game.
I think. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Yeah, it's their only game.
So I think it looks very cool, Jay. But as I say, it's just on that borderline of like, do I spend
To be honest, I'd say it's
playing
like more over the border for me. I'd say it's like
a good.
Yeah, it's like it looks like I definitely will play it. I just don't know when, you know.
And it's one of those, Jay, where like, dude, culture's really interesting, right? Because like things can hit, like let's say Outriders is another example, just because it's next to me. Outriders can hit, and then in a year or 2 years' time, it's a bit like, oh, do you remember when that game came out? Oh yeah. And I know there's some degree of, you know, playing it as it comes out with everybody else and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, do I really want to play a game that's going to be forgetful in a year's time? You know what I mean? Rather than a Witcher 3 or let's use a smaller example, like an Outer Wilds, even, you know, like, or even a Watch Dogs, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, so.
And then I guess the last thing is there's currently a sale, like a summer sale on for PlayStation and Xbox. And there's a bunch of games on there that I want to play, but I just don't know if I can warrant spending the money at the minute. One of those games on sale is The Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy game.
Is it? How cheap is it?
42.
It's still pretty expensive.
Yeah, I don't think I want to pay more than 30, honestly. Maybe like 35 at a push. And that's just the standard. The standard is 42, and the special edition I think was originally 85. It's now like 62 or something.
Right.
So I'm kind of like, that's tough. Sifu is currently on sale, but only for 20% less. So it's usually 33. It's now like 27. So I'm like, I still don't know. I think I probably wouldn't pay more than 18, 20 for that. I don't think.
How much is it? Sorry, at the moment.
27, roughly 26.50.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't pay. Nah, no way.
We do sound kind of like, I hate talking like this about like, I wouldn't pay. Like this is my kind of like, but you gotta like, I feel like you should respect people's spending habits. Like that should be talked about more. Like if someone says, they don't want to pay more than this for a game, that's not me saying that the game isn't necessarily like worth. I mean, to a degree, I'm kind of saying the game isn't. It's not worth to me that amount of money, but to other people it might be. I'm not shitting on the game at all. I don't feel like I don't want to make it seem like I think that I'm above these games or whatever. But capitalism is capitalism at the end of the day, and they're just trying to get as much money out of you as they possibly can while still being reasonable. But their version of reasonable isn't my version of reasonable because of the amount of money I make. So I kind of want to say, yeah, I'm not going to pay more than this amount of money for it. So. Like,
dude, totally.
There shouldn't be a stigma around that at all. There really shouldn't.
Nah. Jay, if anything, I feel like you're on the right side there in terms of we are general gamers, okay?
Yeah.
We have responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. So we can't just go spending, you know, willy-nilly on any game that looks good at brand new day one, right? And frankly, Jay, games are priced too high. I just think they are. Like if the argument is well, games are expensive, then I would argue just make the development less expensive then, because I'm not the person who's going to pay extra so it's in 4K or whatever. Like, yes, I would pay extra for 60 frames, but what I mean is like don't get me wrong, great art and all that stuff. I'll pay 60 quid for Red Dead 2 and Last of Us Part 2. No problem.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Will I pay 70 quid for Returnal? No.
Fuck no.
No, I wouldn't.
That's 30 quid at max.
Yeah, and it
max.
just is what it is, right? And to be honest, Jay, I'm sort of convincing myself that a lot of it is to do with the publisher's pricing and things like that, because
More
the
than
Cuphead
likely.
DLC was
Yeah.
like £7, which is ridiculously good value.
Yeah, that's
brand new.
amazing. Yeah.
And then you've
I reckon
also
they
got
probably
things like,
sold that because of that more often, you know.
and I think Elden Ring's only 50 or 55 quid, and look at that, it's one of the best games
I
of
think
the
it's
year apparently.
45 now, I want to say.
45?
Yeah, it might even
Like
be.
that's
Yeah, that is really
absurd.
good.
The game
Yeah.
was in development for what, 3-4 years or something?
It's kind
So
of ridiculous. There's a couple other ones on sale right now that I'm kind of like, oh, I would love to own it, but maybe not. You remember Biomutant?
yeah, mate.
So I watched a video recently about why that game took so long to come out and development wasn't great and it was a nightmare and why the game isn't that good. And I'm kind of glad that I haven't bought it now because I don't think it's worth it from what I've seen. The game visually looks kind of amazing, but the actual game itself is basically an indie game that was delayed for 3 years just to make it into a more of a AA game, and it just didn't do very well. Basically, like I don't think anyone should ever
Right.
buy that game. Now that I've looked into it more.
Yeah, I was a shame when that came out, because I think I think me and you and a lot of other people kind of looked at that going, that looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, but then no,
But yeah, no.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, you remember Control didn't have a free upgrade on PS5, did it?
No.
So it's currently like 13 quid. So if I wanted to play it and get the upgrade, I could if I wanted to, I guess.
Is that with DLC as well?
That is a very good question.
Ultimate
yeah,
Edition?
Ultimate Edition, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So potentially, but I still don't know if I want to play that game.
I think you'd love that game.
Yeah, we'll see. What else was there? Another game that I potentially want to play. I keep downloading it and deleting it off my bloody consoles, but Mafia 3 I still need to finish.
I heard that was only a bit mediocre. You know?
I don't know. I really love Mafia. I know I don't know if you. I can't remember if you did now, but Mafia 2 was like an opening for me. Like that was just like.
I played that.
I played that so many times. That was a really, really good game. Yeah, there's so many good games on deal right now. And if you haven't looked, I recommend just checking it out.
I've got all my favourites wish listed, so I just check them if they're not on. Then yeah.
But I always find that I'm always surprised. Like, oh, I didn't realize I wanted that game.
And then it's on sale.
Like, oh yeah, I'll just grab it.
That's what sales do to you, bro. That's what sales do to you.
They've got a really good sale on right now, and I'm just like, I just don't want to spend the money right now because I know I'm going to be spending 50 quid on the Pokemon game in November. I'm more than likely going to be spending about 60 quid on Skull and Bones, depending on whether I want to play it or not. And I'm more than likely going to be spending about 60, 70 quid on Gotham Knights when it comes out as well. So I kind of have to like pick and choose. I can either play 3 games at fairly high prices, or but maybe get 6 games at lower prices. And I think I'd rather go with the higher price of the 3 big ones rather than the other ones, I think.
And also, I think you're much more likely to play 2 of those 3 quite extensively. And also, you've got quite a lot of games you still need to play, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just, I don't know. I'm out here just playing games as much as I can. My mood changes so much.
That's going to be like a Notting Hill quote, like the bit at the end, which is like, I'm out here just playing some games.
Yeah, I mean,
wait for them to go on sale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Funny.
Pretty much.
Jay, do you mind if we move on to the news?
Yeah, I think that was it. I'm pretty sure that was it. Just, general stuff.
General stuff.
Okay.
I think we've got a fair few stories to get into, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay, we can run over this one quickly. So Sony completed its $3 billion acquisition of Bungie.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I have a feeling that I think Destiny's been taken off of Xbox.
I can check if you want.
No, it hasn't been taken off. I think it's going to be taken off.
Oh,
and
Destiny 1 or 2?
I think crossplay is going to be taken off as well.
Oh, that's nice of them, isn't it?
I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's either going to happen or it's happening as we speak. So
Destiny 1.
I heard someone talk about it online, but whether they were just like speculating, I'm not really sure. I think it might be both.
Nah, no way they taken Destiny.
Yeah, no, I can't. That would ruin a lot of their money. So I don't think it might just be Destiny 1, but
I wouldn't be surprised about the cross progression thing though.
Yeah, oh no, we'll see. We'll see on that one. That would be really shitty of them to do that.
Yeah,
but
I know it makes financial sense,
for the
but it's still
future, then,
shitty.
Does this mean that if there's another
Well, okay,
Destiny type
Jay.
game, it's going to be PS exclusive?
So as far as I'm aware, J Bulls, basically PlayStation are doubling down on this live service game bullshit, okay? And we see a few reasons for that. One of them being an acquisition of another studio that I can't remember of that's going to be working on it, and Bungie. We also see that because they're making that Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer a whole new game or whatever, right?
Sure.
So a bit more of a multiplayer game. So there's lots and lots of rumblings about PlayStation doubling down and investing on these live service games because they want more of them because I guess they're revenue generating.
They
right?
do make a lot of money. I mean, their business model is very similar to a lot of the Asian markets mobile games, and those things rack in like billions a year. So
Right.
yeah.
It's just that as gamers, most of us don't give a shit about oh yeah, the game. I mean, I know you do, Jay. And I know
I
other
care a
people
little
do,
bit more
but
than you
I don't
do.
give a shit about free games, right? So
I
I just
mean,
want a God of War 50, 60 quid on sale for 20, 30. I'll play it, finish it in 50 hours, and have an amazing time. That's neither here nor there. So I think that's what PlayStation are trying to do, and I think Bungie do it the best on console at least. So that's one of the reasons
they've done
they acquired
they've
them.
got a pretty good track record. So.
And like you say, Jay, I think, we can probably expect. I mean, they said the original Destiny plan was 10 years, right? And the fact that they haven't done a Destiny 3 makes me think Destiny 2 will be the last Destiny game, and they'll just keep releasing expansions.
When did they say that? How
before
long ago?
Destiny 1 came out.
Yeah, when did Destiny 1 come out?
2014?
So in 2 years will be the end of the 10-year plan.
Yep.
So yeah, Destiny 2
So
is
I
probably
imagine that the next game will be probably a new IP and probably a live service game.
I kind of hope it is a new
PlayStation
IP.
exclusive.
Yeah, that is a live service game, much like Destiny. I literally hope it is just not a copy and paste, but like the foundation is still there.
I imagine it'll still be an FPS, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got an idea in my head of what I'd want them to do, but whether they would do that, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like longevity. Like, would they go space with it again, or would they go fantasy? Like, what would they do with it? Because there's only so many themes that you can really. Maybe they go cyberpunk with it. I don't know.
Or maybe they think actually, fuck it, we like Destiny. We'll do Destiny 3 as a jump-off platform and make that PlayStation exclusive and do that.
If they did Destiny 3, man, that'd be insane. I'd be on that like a buddy. I'd be on it so quick. I really want to play Destiny again, but I just don't want to play Destiny 2 anymore. I want to start again,
Sure. Having that fresh start in a game like that's great, to be fair.
Yeah, because then you can just be with everybody. You can come up with everybody else. I don't like jumping into a game when everybody is already like so high up,
Got flying cars and shooting rockets at you. Looking at you, GTA Online. Jake, next up, Skate 4 is officially called Skate.
Yeah, it's sort of like a
reboot name.
Reboot-ish type thing, yeah.
And it will also be free to play on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC with cross-play and cross-progression. Jay,
so a lot of people,
what are your thoughts on this?
A lot of people are very mixed on this. It's either a love it or hate it situation. I think people are obviously worried about monetization and about how are they going to get their money. I reckon it'll because the game's going to be basically like basically a skate MMO essentially. You can play. I think you can probably play it solo, but I imagine it'll be like a very similar sort of like MMO type experience. And I imagine most of the monetization will come from like skins and skateboards and just all the usual customization stuff. And there'll probably be a battle pass more than likely, which I quite like that model. I think a free to play game where you don't have to spend money is just genius to me. So, and the game just gets funded by people who want to you spend money, so it's fine by me. Just as long as they don't. I think the issue that a lot of people have is that they can hide certain or like lock certain elements of the game behind a paywall, and that is just when it becomes not a good idea. You start doing that to people, and then that just pisses them off. It's like, well, I don't want to spend money, but I still want to have these things. So what's the I think if they made it possible where you could unlock those things or pay money for it, it'd be great. But to be able to unlock them, you had to play a lot, Which I actually want to make a quick comparison. The new Smash-like game, Multiverses. Have you heard of that? The WB Smash game. So. That's coming out on the 26th, and their model is exactly just like I said. So it's free to play, battle pass system. You can buy for cosmetics and stuff, but there's no loot boxes or anything. but you can unlock everything just by playing the game for long enough. So you can be rewarded for actually getting good at the game. So I kind of hope that's kind of the model they stick to. But yeah, Skate is, again, it's almost in like alpha still, so we've got a while for that. I'm still looking forward to it though. I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely play it because it's free to play.
2024 props, right? For that, I'd say.
Like September earliest.
Yeah.
September 2024 at the earliest.
Oh,
I mean,
every week, Jay, we're talking about these
right
fucking
now.
games that are coming out in 5 years. But go on.
They're doing tests right now. Like I think they're almost in beta at this point, so I think they're going to start doing tests. Like I think you can sign up now to go play the alpha or the beta, one of the two. They're getting people to come in and test the game as much as possible, so they get, you know. Because I think one thing I will say is that the developers are very, very responsive to feedback, and they are very willing to get the community feedback on how they want the game to be made. Like this is like almost like a collaborative process, and that they're actually taking a lot of feedback on board, and they've shown that in their many developer diaries and many posts about, yep, we're listening to everything you say, trust us, we'll prove it soon, kind of thing. So
sure.
I think they know that Skate is a bit of a cultural phenomenon in that it was played by so many people back in the day, and that so many people want either the next iteration or for the next generation of kids to like grow up with their version of what Skate is, you know. So I think they've got the market of the people who already played the Skate games, and they've also got the market of the new people coming along to want to test it out. So the people are there ready and waiting to spend their money. It's just they've got to bring it out now. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. I've been waiting for a new Skate game for so long. Skate 3 was fine, but I think Skate 1 and 2 were the best of the bunch. So Skate 3 was definitely great, but it was just, I don't know, it didn't feel the same.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, Jay, I have the opposite opinion.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you're not a fan of free-to-play stuff, so.
No, this was bad news to me, right? So, funnily enough, I hear what you're saying about the feedback thing. I'm sure they are listening to all the feedback. Here's my feedback for you. Don't make it free to play. Make it a 50 quid game, which has all the shit in it at launch that people want, and it'll sell 7 million copies.
Very true.
There you go.
I'm definitely not disagreeing with you. I think that would definitely also be a good idea. I think both. I think actually your way of doing it is better. But I think they're trying to outweigh whether or not a free to play being obviously more accessible means they're gonna have a bigger, more concurrent players. Yeah. Like let's say you sell the game for 50 or even 45. Let's say your concurrent players at launch are 100,000, and it diminishes to 50,000 over a month. If it was free to play, it would probably be 250,000 concurrent in the first month, and then it'd probably go down to maybe about 100,000 a month after. I think that's probably what their line of thinking is, that they just want more people, they want more eyes, more wallets in the game to be able to potentially spend money. I think it's more of a like, it's almost like a marketing stroke advertising strategy, you know. They know that if people see free, they're more likely to even try it. Whereas if there's that you know, purchase of entry kind of thing is tough, especially like I think they're also thinking about the fact that people are having to spend more money right now on, you know, cost of living and everything, and I think they're just thinking, well, this probably isn't going to go away for a while, so we need to prepare people to be like, you're probably not going to have money for a while, so at least you can have this free and not have to spend money if you don't want to.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts, Jay.
It's just weighing everything up, you know?
I agree with your free to play thing, right? If someone looks at it free or whatever, and like you say, I get your point, Jay. Right? You like the idea of jumping on a free Skate game and being able to play the whole thing or whatever just free, right? I would say that's a drained experience, a drained experience for you, right? And here's my analogy here. If you create a game that is just made for a certain type of person or people, and you do it well to that degree, you get Elden Ring, which sells fucking loads of copies all over the joint, and yet it's such a specific, like, people would never play that game ever because it's not their sort of game, right? The same thing. I'm gonna. This is a weird comparison, but gonna use the Avengers Endgame, right?
Yeah,
I
go on.
know that it's quite a broad and it's like it's got funny bits and all that shit, but ultimately it hits what people want from that type of film. And clearly it does that, right? So just do that with Skate. Like, you don't have to reach everyone. Not every fucking 14-year-old who dreams of skating right now needs to play this game for free. And if you want to do that, just do a trial or a demo, right? Just hit the audience that's there to a good degree and you'll do the revenue, right? You don't need to make it free so that everyone who's got a phone in Brazil can play Skate. Like, don't get me wrong, I hope everyone can play Skate in Brazil, but that's my argument. You're dumbing it down for the masses, and I don't give a shit about the masses. I want the game for the people, you know?
I think you're looking at it obviously from a very traditional way of looking at it, right? Just doing things how
Sure.
they've worked previously. But I have a feeling that the industry has changed to a point where I think developers and publishers maybe and just people in the industry have noticed that that doesn't always work as well as they'd like it to, and there's a lot more games that come out having a price that tend to fail versus recent trends where games that have come out for free that had they been of a price would never have been as big as they currently are. I think Fall Guys is a great example of that. Initially, that game cost money, and it blew up, and it went free to play. Same with Among Us, I think as well. I don't even know if Among Us is even free to play. But
I think it is.
That actually kind of goes against some things. But I think those games were more about the fact they went viral initially. Like I think, but I think there's a lot of free. Like I think Fortnite is probably one of the better examples. Even Destiny, like Destiny went free to play, and it just gained so many people. But I just think the industry is just following the trend of the fact that free to play games are doing pretty well right now, and so they're just going to do what they know is more statistically likely to do better for them. But I understand where you're coming from. I think if the game did sell for a price, they'd probably have more of a chance to do DLC later on too. But we don't really know the ins and outs of the exact revenue that they would pull from either option.
Yeah.
I think one option gives you a finite amount of revenue, which is the paying for a price for the game, versus a free-to-play one that gives you an almost infinite amount of revenue because it's a constant flow versus just a stagnant flow. Like you're going to get the one payment and that's it, and then after that you're going to get a steady flow of people who, a very diminishing flow of people who maybe buy the game near its end of its lifespan. But with it constantly being free to play and it always having the option to put money into it, it's almost going to be like a steady flow for probably longer, I imagine. So they probably would rather have that than one heap and then nothing.
Yeah, and like you say, it minimizes risk, right? Because
I think a lot of it is just risk assessment.
Yeah,
the thing is, it's pretty risky to put out a free to play game, and that people having the option to not have to spend anything too. So.
True, but like you say, less risky in terms of just all the money comes in 1 week and then that's it.
Yeah, I think it's just big risk, big reward, basically, is kind of what they're going for right now, which is, strange, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
I feel like free to play is smaller risk, if anything.
I mean, I guess I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think regardless.
But yeah, no, I think.
You're still gonna play it though, right?
Nah.
Really? I mean, it's Skate.
Jay, I guarantee you on launch, right? It'll be like, here's 2 locations you can skate at, and here's 10 skateboards, and you can be a male or female.
Oh, you mean there's not going to be that many options? There's going to be very bare bones.
There'll be fuck all in it, mate. There'll be nothing in it. There'll be nothing. Well,
I kind of hope you're wrong. So we'll see.
We will see. We will see.
I mean, the game might not come out to 2025 at this point.
Oh God, yeah. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about games that aren't coming out. Good chat there. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Next up, J Balls. My document has refreshed again, so I can't see anything. Blah blah blah.
Why has it done
first look at the characters from. Oh yeah, actually, I want to ask you about this. Dungeons and
Yes.
Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Tell you
Is
what.
this a TV show, a movie, a Dungeons?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Is it a TV show or a movie?
It's got some big stars in it. I will
Yes, I
tell
know.
you very shortly after these commercials.
After this break.
Oh, before we get into that then, Jay, Discord voice integration coming to Xbox.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing, because we might actually be able to play games while we're... Well, I mean, we can already chat, but...
Recording.
Recording, potentially, yeah.
True. We should do an episode while we're playing, like, in a co-op game or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Totally. Might be awful to listen to, but I mean, it's awful anyway.
We are going to have to come up with a different way of recording at some point, because my laptop will die in at least the next year or two. It's just going to cut on. It's not going to work as well as it used to. I'm not going to be able to afford a new laptop, so I'm saying.
That's pretty big news though, from like a integration viewpoint, right?
Yeah, that's kind of amazing. I don't think they don't even have that on PlayStation, do they?
No. I think that's what surprised
I don't think it'll
people.
work
They thought
properly
it was going to come to
right away,
first.
but yeah, I think give it a couple of months after it's already been out, and it'll probably work a lot better. So
sure,
that'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
So it looks like this is a film. They're making a Dungeons and Dragons film.
Okay.
So
yeah, I saw it and thought, oh, this isn't going to be very good. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, oh my god. They've actually, see what's funny? They've actually been very true to the original Dungeons and Dragons lore. I don't know how much you know about a very particular.
So there's a trailer as well.
Have you not seen the trailer?
No.
Oh, you have to watch that.
Okay, alright.
Oh, okay. There's one bit in the trailer, I'm not going to spoil too much, but there's one bit where a dragon flies over and spews. What does a dragon breathe out of his mouth?
Fire.
Yeah, okay. What does dragons in Dungeons and Dragons spew out of its mouth?
Bile.
Basically, like it's kind of like an oily bile that once it catches fire, it then lights up.
Oh, that's cool.
So they've actually taken that from the original Dungeons and Dragons like lore and put it into the movie. So they're being very true to the original like source material. It's very true, and it's kind of amazing.
It's not going to be awful though, right?
Honestly, it looks kind of like it looks kind of good. Like I was pleasantly surprised.
Alright, well I haven't seen it, so
I was pleasantly surprised, and the humor, like it didn't seem too.
Shit.
I'll put it too modern Hollywood. Let's put that. Too agenda pushing, too ideology strewn.
Very quickly on that note, Jay, I've been thinking about this for the last week, and I think we should just say it how it is, because if not, the future is
too woke. But I think
the future's a worse place.
Yeah, very very true.
So I think from now on we should just
go there though. 100% it could go there.
Well, I was looking at the cast, but I think we should just say it how it is because it needs to be called out at this point.
Yeah, 100%. I'm getting pissed off with it. I mean, Marvel's fucking. It's funny. There's a couple of posts online of like people who've put like a list of like franchises that have been ruined by like all the woke bullshit recently.
Right.
And they've put lines through like DC and Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Ghostbusters, a bunch of shit, you know. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, we get it. Yeah, it's not looking.
What's interesting is that they keep doing it even though nobody wants it.
Well, it's because it keeps making money.
Right.
They don't care about reviews; they care more about the money. So, and I know the recent Thor movie is, I think, the second worst rated Thor movie, just above the Dark World. So, which is funny because Taika, like, he's laughing all his way to the bank right now.
Apparently can do no wrong.
Yeah. I actually saw a clip. I haven't seen the movie yet. I saw a clip of one section, and I was like, Jesus Christ! Like, have you seen it yet or no?
No, but I'm not watching.
Yeah,
that,
no,
bro.
dude, I'm not joking when I say this. I think I've seen the worst scene in Marvel history so far. It's not even close.
Jay, that's a fucking bold statement, bro.
I genuinely think it might be the worst written scene I've ever seen. Ever.
What?
CGI was like bad too, and there's a lot of developers or like graphic designers coming out at the minute who have all said that they had to quit working with Marvel, even though it was their dream job, because they got shoved, like they didn't get enough time to do what they needed to do. Basically, they got crunch time was like way over, They basically got given stuff to do like 2 weeks before it had to be done, and they were like, "This is going to take me months. I don't understand what you mean." Like, they had to, yeah. There's so many like people coming out now being like, "Don't work with Marvel. They're awful to work with." And it's kind of like these people would have like killed. They would have kissed and licked so many boots to get to even like close to where they currently are, and now they don't want any part of it because of how bad the actual like the working environment is. I'm not surprised, basically. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally.
Doesn't
But what's
surprise
so
me.
weird about that too, again, like money just speaks, doesn't it? But like if I was Marvel, I just do fucking nothing for like 3 years, and then you basically come back into demand, don't you? Rather than just saturation.
I honestly think at this point the saturation isn't too much of an issue. Well, it's an issue in the fact that the quality is diminished massively. So I think yes, I guess it is an issue. I think if they released 2 movies a year, it would probably do a lot better, or maybe even 1 a year. To be honest, I think it would do a lot better.
Yeah, totally.
It would give them way more time to actually like sort stuff out, and it'd probably give them time to actually write a fucking decent story at this point. Jesus Christ.
Well, what's weird, Jay, is that Kenobi got delayed and the story was still mediocre.
Oh, it's awful. That was really bad.
Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, I watched it begrudgingly.
There was some good moments in it though, right?
Someone actually made like someone made like a cut version of it, like an hour and a half long cut that basically put all the best bits and made it a more coherent story.
Really?
Yeah, and I haven't seen it, but I imagine it's. I mean, people have done that with everything recently, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you thought there was some good bits in it though, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. All I'm saying, I think Marvel are hiring the wrong people. That's what I'm saying. They're hiring. I think there might even be a level of nepotism in the industry at the minute. I mean, there's always been nepotism. I think it's just running a bit more rampant than usual.
Yeah, I'm giving up with Star Wars, mate. After watching Kenobi, like I don't think it was bad personally, but it was like it could have been more, and it wasn't.
We honestly might as well just call this podcast
but...
the anti-Disney buddy podcast, because
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too. Fuck them, honestly. I'll watch their shit, but just to see how bad it is most of the time, honestly.
Oh my god, literally.
But I really hope things change, because I'm getting pissed.
There was something related to the ideology stuff this week, which was why I was going to bring it up.
Probably
with you,
Lord of the Rings.
What it was.
Or,
nah, I don't think so, mate.
Was it game related?
I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was.
It wasn't Last of Us, was it?
Mate, no, I don't think so.
No, I don't know. You have to have a think.
Anyway, all right, Jay. The last one, I don't. Okay, so I'm trying not to ruin what's next in Assassin's Creed world by looking at these fucking news leaks and shit. So
well, no, all I really wanted to talk about was just the fact that there's potentially like they've just delayed some. Ubisoft have delayed like 4 or 5 different games, or they've completely cancelled a couple, I think. So.
Well, all Assassin's Creed, or
no? They just had a bunch of games in development that didn't seem to be doing that well, so they've like either cancelled them or delayed them.
That's surprising because they've been hitting the mark for a while.
Was it AC Rift? I think is what they're calling it.
Is that the Infinity one, or is that different?
I don't know. I don't know if Rift is the same thing. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do with that. But apparently, it's either been delayed.
In September, right?
I was going to say yeah, September's when we're going to find out a bunch of stuff anyway about AC. So I don't really know. That's just it was one of those quick in and out type. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want you to be frustrated about seeing too much. So.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, just bring up the fact that Ubisoft are doing something, and we don't know what.
Okay.
They're trying to fix things.
Are getting delayed.
I mean, honestly, at the moment, I'm just all I'm worried about is Skull and Bones at the moment. So, I genuinely want to be good. I want it to be so good. I want it to be good so bad.
I know.
I want it to be good.
I know.
I need it, dude. I really, really badly want to play it.
All right, Jay, let's finish up with my topic for the week. Please, we haven't got anything else prepared because I'm rubbish.
Yeah, we're terrible.
No, well, you're not terrible. So, Jay, I sent you a picture
you did?
Ages ago. And what did that picture verify following our last recording when people are listening to this?
Hang on.
Something to do with the old BB.
I don't know. Hang on, I need to check now.
Something to do with one of the best PS4
right, okay. Did we not talk about this yet?
Yeah, we did, but I just need you to tell the people that I actually did it because when we
Oh,
recorded
so yeah,
it,
Nick
I was.
has platinumed Bloodborne. Okay, there we go.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Which is an
Thank you.
achievement. It is. I don't think
Thank
I'd be
you.
able to actually get that far, to be honest.
Thank
So,
you.
yes, the determination is real. I'm very, very impressed.
It is.
I'm very, very impressed.
Jay, the balance of enjoyment to frustration, enjoyment was up here. I've got to say, it was, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. New Game Plus, I've got to say, breezed through it. I think I was a bit OP, truth be told, because I did chalice dungeons as well, so I was probably a little bit over leveled, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
that's what you need.
Yeah,
You
did
want to be
that.
over leveled. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, make the game easier. Come on, it's just fucking logic. But anyway,
it is logic. Yes.
So did that. J-Balls, I want to discuss with you because I've been asking a lot of people about this, and I know we discussed it before, but the order of how I'm going to tackle these games now that I am a converted one. So here's my thoughts, Jay. I know we've already talked about this, so I'll be fairly brief. Dark Souls 1, I've seen people play through it so many times at this point. I feel like
it's definitely worth. I mean, it's kind of worth playing, I guess. It's hard to say, honestly. I mean, it's just, I feel like it's just so hard to play now. It really doesn't hold up that well. It really doesn't.
Right.
It's hard. Like,
so what about so here's my thoughts.
To be honest, but
so I'm not going to play Sekiro because I know we've spoken about that.
It's tough, dude. It's one of those ones that you really have to be paying attention. Like, there's no making a mistake. You make a mistake, it's over.
Right.
It's the toughest of them all. It really is. It's kind of like annoyingly hard sometimes.
So I'm going to leave that for the time being, and I'm going to leave Elden Ring because that is going to be that's apparently the best
Sekiro,
one.
100%.
Okay, fine. 100%. All right, well, let's
100%.
put Elden Ring then Sekiro last. Fine, okay. So my thought of order was Dark Souls 3 because it's got quite a lot of hype behind it. It seems quite accessible. Okay. Then maybe. Oh, fuck. Then maybe the Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Then Demon Souls remake.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, what you don't fancy playing that?
No, I actually wouldn't mind playing the remake. I definitely wouldn't play the original. Fuck me, that thing is old.
Yeah, no way. No way.
It doesn't hold up at all.
Maybe Dark Souls 1 if
honestly,
I do
now that I'm thinking about it, you kind of need to. I'm thinking about some of the boss fights and they are legendary. Like, they're classic. They're just so, like, when I think about Dark Souls, there's one particular boss fight I think about, and it's just great. It's just phenomenal. It's probably my favorite boss battle in any game ever, I think.
Is it the old S&O?
Yes.
Okay. This is how much I've seen people play it, Jay.
Let me remind myself of what their names are.
Analondo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is them. They are the most infamous, I would say, right?
Maybe I'm. Oh yeah, S&O. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Dude,
okay.
that is such a fun boss fight, and I think weirdly, those two characters sort of became almost like poster characters for the game. Like they're just phenomenal. Like, it's just genius. And I know so many games have taken that concept and put it into their own game of like one big, one small, or like one fast, one slow. Since then, and it's just like, yeah, it's just genius.
Sure.
So,
Jay, I need your help then, okay? So you mentioned that Dark Souls does play differently to Bloodborne, right? You've got the shield, you've got parrying's different, you've got the Estus Flask as well. So what I need to know, Jay, how do I approach Dark Souls 1 then?
I honestly recommend playing Dark Souls 1 first, if I were you. I'd go 1-3. I'd probably go 1-3.
Why would you not go 1-2-3?
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you can do it the way I did it and just do 1-2-3, I guess. It's up to you. It just depends on whether you actually want to complete them or not. Because I don't think you are. I mean,
well, I'm not getting all the achievements, but I'm just gonna finish them.
Just finish them. Just play through it once. I think I recommend.
Yeah, that's all I'm
gonna
do.
Just do 1-2-3. It's just easier, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. So how do I approach 1 then? Because I tried 1 a few times. I struggled.
Great. Follow a guide. Best thing I can say.
I'm thinking more gameplay, Jay. Like in terms of like. Yeah, I'm thinking more gameplay, right? Like, did you parry a lot? Did you two-hand? Did you do a lot of dodging?
I
Like,
didn't
do I
know
approach it
about
like
any of
Bloodborne?
those concepts until I played Bloodborne.
Oh,
I
fuck.
played
So
through
how
Dark
did you
Souls
play
1,
it?
2, and 3,
Yeah.
not even thinking about what weapon I had. I don't think I even upgraded my weapons. I completed them all.
What? So are you saying they're easy like that then?
I honestly think I just like. I think I just got lucky. I don't. I think I don't remember upgrading my weapons, but I probably did. But I think I'll tell you
Okay.
what. The weapon I always tend to use is just the Zweihander. Just a great sword. I just use it. My preferred style of play in Souls games is just get the biggest, longest great sword you can and just whack them over the head with it.
And
Super
then just
slow,
dodge, like
super
don't
heavy. Yeah,
parry.
just dodge. I don't think. I don't think. I think I parried quite a bit in the first game. Didn't really bother in the second and third. I don't think.
Okay.
Parrying isn't really necessity. Just dodge. Just do.
But in terms of like the whole kind of cycle of new area, explore, find shit, keep stuff,
Yeah, all the
and
same.
then like defeat enemies, level up, then face the boss, keep trying, finish the boss, next area. Like that's still all the same and
Still all the
stuff.
same. Yeah, I think I remember the only thing they changed from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2. I don't know if they did it in Dark Souls 3. Was in Dark Souls 2, whenever you died, the enemies in the area got progressively harder.
In Dark Souls 2.
From what I can remember, you might have to Google that, but I think there was an issue with if you died too much in the same area, each time the enemies would get harder. Like they'd get more, they'd do more damage to you, and it would take longer for you to kill them.
Surely eventually that would just break the game.
Yeah, I think it did, kind of. I think that's another reason why a lot of people didn't like the second one.
Okay.
But I recommend Googling that because I could be very wrong. There was definitely something to do with
No,
the
I
death
think.
mechanic that I didn't like.
Okay.
So.
And in terms of Dark Souls 1, do I go remastered or do like
Oh,
plain
100%,
Jane?
yeah. Oh god, definitely go remastered. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't even want to play the second one original, to be honest.
Yeah, sure. Okay, fine.
I think 3 is
And
probably the
you
best
think
looking one of them all, but obviously.
will I be okay, Jay, playing 1 and 2 in terms and 3 in terms of like, will I find them a lot harder than Bloodborne?
I think as long as you follow a guide, you'll at least prepare yourself for what's ahead. Because more than anything, is prepare to die, basically.
Right.
As
right.
the saying goes for Dark Souls. The literal tagline, prepare to die, because you are gonna.
Okay.
But I mean, I played those games with zero preparation, other than watching people play through them. I sort of learned by
Okay.
example. That was my only. I didn't follow a guide for. I think the only guide I followed was maybe for Dark Souls 3. And I don't think I even followed the guide necessarily. I think I just had the guide book, and I'd like flick through it every so often. Although I do have the Bloodborne guidebook, the collector's edition, which is very nice.
So I don't think I'll be getting it for a while, sadly. But there we are. So.
Actually, I reckon.
Do you think there's any? Oh, I've lost you, Jay.
No,
I
you're
think
good. I'm
my
here.
Oh, do you think there's any argument to say I should do the Demon Souls remake first? Because it's the first
I'd
game in a
probably
way.
do that after 3, but before Elden Ring, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be worth doing the Demon Souls one first, just because I don't think the controls are the same for every game. I also want to say that I don't think the dodge. I think some buttons are different depending on which Dark Souls you play. I think the dodge might have been on a different button than in Dark Souls 2, which is another reason why people didn't like it.
Okay.
I think dodge was on X to the circle.
But it seems like Dark Souls 2, while initially favoured and then slaughtered,
It just
has
changed
become
so
a little
much.
bit favoured
Yeah,
again.
it's one of those things where once you start playing it, it becomes fun. But initially, it was just annoying. I think for a lot of people.
Okay.
But yeah,
cool.
I mean, play them how you want to play them.
Right.
Honestly, just just test it before you do
I
anything
want your
else.
advice. I want your
I
advice.
mean, I don't really.
Last
It's
thing...
weird. I kind of like just fumbled my way through it. I didn't really think about it too much, and it was so long ago that I don't even really remember much.
Sure. But what's interesting to me, Jay, is that like I jumped into Bloodborne knowing it was the most accessible because of a few reasons that we've already discussed last week. What's interesting about your journey with Dark Souls is that you basically played it very close to when the first game came out, which, let's be honest, looked like shit at the time and still does. And like I would say the barrier of entry is way higher.
Way
So what's
higher.
interesting is that you went through it and were just like you understood what that game was trying to do or does before everybody else caught on.
Yeah, so I played it before it got big. Let's just say that, I guess.
But like when you were playing it, do you remember thinking like, "Oh, I get what this game's doing," like feeling like, you're a child playing, the difficulty and the areas and all that? Like, is that obvious even back then?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty obvious.
Because like when you initially play that game, to me, you're basically playing like this is a poorly looking third person action game, which is really hard. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it clicks.
I think the appeal for me back then was more just the way the game looked. Like, I think it looked cool to me at the time. That was literally the only reason I was playing it. It just looked cool. I don't remember anything else about it. Me being like, oh, this is why I want to play it. I think it might have also been like there was like a speed running element. Was also just the fun part of it too.
And like that even had that even back then, perhaps.
Yeah, it's had it since day one, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Obviously, I can't wait for you to start playing those games. That's gonna be so fun to witness.
Can you imagine being like a Demon Souls OG player? Like that must be crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen those people online. There's definitely like ways to go check that out. It's interesting. Very interesting. I say the majority of those people are the ones who transitioned to Dark Souls and became, good at that then. So.
Right. Yeah, very exciting time for me, I guess, in that sense. A lot
to play for the first time, kind of.
yeah, absolutely.
Or enjoy for the first time.
Yeah, so I haven't got remastered, but I have actually got OG Dark Souls. But
I mean, I've got them all on disc, I think.
Fair.
Yeah, I think I have every single one on disc. Yeah, I think my original Dark Souls case is just like, it's so weird that like looking at it, it's like this is from back then, It's it's like almost 15 years old at this point. So old.
That's gross.
It's like 13. Like actually, weirdly, I think I got Dark Souls. I think roughly the same time that I got Xbox Live for the first time. And that's how old it is. It's like 14 years old at this point. Yeah, it's so long ago.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, Jay, the new PS Plus thing. I didn't know whether you had any intention to get it. I don't know if you saw the new games that came out. No. It looks like they're doing monthly editions.
I did see something.
They added FF7 Remake Intergrade to it.
Oh yeah.
That's right, Intergrade. And they added some other good games that I can't remember. But it looks and Stray. But it looks like they're going to be making monthly editions. I don't know whether they'll take games off yet, but didn't know whether you had any plans to get it at any time soon.
It's tough because I have to basically choose between Game Pass and this. So
maybe cancel Game Pass for a month or two.
I'd have
and
to
get
do it
that.
for at least a year. I think if I was to play games on there, it would just have to be ones that I know I hadn't bought yet that I needed to,
Sure.
So games like Stray and what was that game you brought up earlier? The 60 quid one that we didn't want to pay too much money for. Returnal.
Yeah.
Is one I still want to play.
70 quid that was. 70 quid.
Yeah, I think it's come down. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few games on here that I do want to play. It's just I've just got to pick the right month, basically.
Sure.
Because I can guarantee I'm going to cancel my thing for 1 month, and then that month something comes on, and I'm like, oh god, why did I do that? It happens all the time.
Sure.
So I don't know. There's a lot I would want to try, definitely.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I mean, it's pretty much already become a Game Pass. It's getting there.
Yeah.
So, like, we're already pretty much.
It's true. They have got some really good games on it for sure. I think. What do I think?
I just kind of hope they don't take off too much.
So basically, Jay, because I've paid for my PS Plus for an annual thing, I think I can upgrade to the extra or premium for like 10 or 15 quid for like 3 months at this point. So I might just do that and have it for a few months and just play through the things I want and then just leave it, and then if games come to it later, wait until they go on sale or go on the service and then just get it for a month next year
I think
at one point and just
that's
play through
my
it
other
all
issue
again.
is that I have to be in the right mood to play games, right? So I can't like it's so finite or like final. I can't really like just pay for it and be like, right now I'm in the mood. I can't do that. So I'd have to do it like, I'd have to be very sure about what my decision would be.
Sure.
Unfortunately. So yeah.
All right, Jay. Well, let's wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. I'm hoping to have some more sort of solid game updates, but it's been busy time.
I just got to decide now what I actually want to like get into. Because I really want to play Mafia. I really want to play Pokemon. I really want to play Yakuza. I really want to play Power Wash Simulator. I really want to play a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
I do want to. Oh, that was my other thing. I will bring this up as a topic at some point, but I want to talk about playing games and then, or like going about playing a game and then being like, oh, I'm not going to play it now because the achievements seem too frustrating for me to get into right now. So I want to bring that up as a topic at some point and get your, almost have like a back and forth on that.
We can do it next week if you want, and then so if you want,
yeah, I've
we
got
can
some
do
notes
that.
written down for like that, so I'll write that for the next doc, I think.
Okay, we'll do that, and we can also do AC Valhalla Ragnarok if you want. Dawn of Ragnarok.
Sure, yeah, we'll do those at the same time. Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a good whenever this comes out. The Lord knows they're coming out slow, so yeah. So see you whenevs. Have a good weekend, hopefully, if it comes out on time, and we'll see you all very soon. Peace.